Things Podcast. Hey, Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest episode of the Needless Things Podcast, where we talk about toys, movies, music, and all manner of pop culture dorkery. I am your host, Dave, and you guys, I'm not feeling great. I got up really early this morning so we could go see Insidious, The Last Key, and we went and ate breakfast before that, and I had some kind of, I'm back on my sort of strict diet of trying to lose weight and control my triglycerides. So I had this very large omelet with steak and vegetables in it, and also a bowl of fruit. And all day long, it just hasn't been agreeing with me. But we went and we saw Insidious. After that, I made it through the whole movie. Pretty amazing, as far as not having to get up and go anywhere. And the movie is really cool. I don't know where you guys stand on the Insidious series, but all three of the first movies were much better than I was expecting them to be. Like the first movie, I was like, oh, this looks really cool, but, you know, who knows where it's going to fall in the spooky stuff pantheon, and it offered up some surprises, some really nice performances, and we really enjoyed it. The second one was a great follow-up that felt like, rather than like a sequel, it felt like the rest of the story, and yet the first movie did feel like it stood on its own. The third one I think is actually my favorite, which is I hate to say prequel because that has so many negative connotations. It happens earlier in the timeline and it is absolutely fantastic. And then this one happens between that movie and the first movie. And it's great. They do some really interesting things. A couple of things really took me by surprise. I enjoyed the heck out of it. It is a purchase for sure when it comes out. I'm already looking forward to watching it again, and I want to go back and watch all the others too. So I dug that, but I've been up a very long time. I'm very tired. My stomach's not feeling great. But I am here for you guys because you are here for me, right? Because you're going to share this with all of your friends. You're going to tell everybody about the Needless Things podcast, and you're going to tell everybody about the Needless Things podcast 200th episode extravaganza that is happening on January 25th at the In-Town Coffee House. If you go to Facebook, I would hope at this point you're all part of the Needless Things podcast Facebook group. If you're not, go join up, for crying out loud. But if you look for Needless Things Podcast Extravaganza, I guess you can find the event. It's also on my profile and my Instagram. I need to put something up on the website. I just realized that just now. But it's huge. I'm so excited about this thing. As you guys may or may not know, I've mentioned this a few different times when I've been talking about why I do this, my inspirations. Basically, I am trying to do something that is a tribute to Late Night with David Letterman, in a way. Just the format of the show. I have guests, I have music, I have exciting things with audience participation. It is going to be an event like I've never done before. I'm so excited about it. This has brought me back to the levels of excitement about the very first Dirty Dirty Con Game Show. And granted, I still get excited as heck about that, and more news about that in a second. But this is very special to me, and I really hope all you guys that are local to Atlanta can show up. We have Ricky Zero, Bambi Lynn, and Jazz Ingram of the Possum Kingdom Ramblers will be our house band, Ricky Zero and the World's Nicest Band. Our pals Arian, Sean, Ryan Cadaver are going to be there. Our special guest, Jay Hornsby, is going to be talking about geology, but in a way that only Needless Things would talk about geology. Puppeteer Mr. Beau Brown, who is on today's episode, by the way. talking about Masters of the Universe, because that's what this episode is, and a future episode as well. But Mr. Beau Brown is going to have a puppetry class right there in the In-Town Coffee House, live on stage. We're going to bring some people up out of the audience, and we're going to learn how to puppet. Our pals Bean and Bear are going to show up for a special performance with Ricky Zero and the World's Nicest Band. And finally, our musical guests are the Casket Creatures, performing a very special version of a very special song. This night is huge for me. I'm so excited. The fact that this thing has come together this way, it blows my mind, and I just have so much love for everybody that's involved. And please, you guys, seriously, this is going to be really special. I don't know if anything like this will happen again in this way. I'm hosting. I will never compare myself to David Letterman, but I will certainly say that his show for decades inspired me and is a big part of who and what I am today. So January 25th, the In-Town Coffee House in Atlanta, Georgia. If you come, you can park at the church next door. And this is an all-ages show, by the way. It's free, too. It's free and it's all ages. All I ask is that if you show up, please do have some cash on hand, because donations are how this place runs. There's no door charge, and they've got a coffee bar. You can buy drinks and stuff in there. So, non-alcoholic drinks. This is a caffeinated show, if you will. So anyway, January 25th, go on Facebook, find the Needless Things Podcast 200th episode extravaganza, and sign up and tell your friends. I want to pack that place out. This night is going to be incredible. Okay, the other big news that I have is that I am officially going to be performing at Days of the Dead Atlanta. This is the first weekend of February. And Friday night, February 2nd, we will be putting on the Dirty Dirty Con Game Show for the first time ever at Days of the Dead. It's going to be a lot of fun, and that's all I can tell you right now. The whole cast is going to be there. We're putting on a special horror-infused version of the game show. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be really fun, and I hope you guys can make it out. And then the next day, on Saturday, I will be putting on a Toy Stories panel with our pals Ryan and Nicole and some special guests, and it's going to be Toy Stories about the history of horror toys. So that's going to be really, really years ago. That 42 is a very significant number, and more things are coming. I'm going to be putting smiles on all your faces, and maybe I could have phrased that differently. Maybe it sounded a little too Dirty Con Game Show. I don't know. What else have we got going on? I think that's all the stuff I wanted to put over. I will say, go to needlessthingspodcast.com. I'm still working on getting site to redirect to podcast. Our technical pal Rad Ranger is hopefully going to help me out with that some. It is trickier than I realized, but as I told you guys, I had to leave the host that I was paying for that domain. It wasn't working out. It was them. It wasn't me. So for now, for now and ever, we're at needlessthingspodcast.com. But when you go there, go to that big old Amazon box in the top right corner and click on it. Go in there to buy your stuff. We get a little bit of a kickback. It helps out the site. It's a really good way to show support. But of course, the best way to show your support is to share podcasts, articles, and everything else from Needless Things. Let everybody know the good work that's going on here. All right, you guys, now it is time for the first part of me and Beau Brown's annual Masters of the Universe episode. Now, normally we look back at the past year of toy releases. I didn't think we were going to be able to do that this year, so I planned on kind of a free-for-all. But today's episode, among other things, is looking back at 2017 Masters of the Universe toys. There is a second part that will be coming up in a few weeks. I haven't nailed it down yet. That is one of the wildest conversations or most far-ranging conversations we've had on the show that was supposed to be about Masters of the Universe. And it still is mostly, but man, we take it out there. We bring it back in, but we take it out there. So, but today, sort of a more standard fare episode. It's a lot of fun. You know how me and Beau get when we're talking Masters. So kick back, relax, pull out your Leech figure and your Trap Jaw, and maybe Moss Man too, because maybe you worked hard today, maybe you're a little stinky, maybe you could be, freshened up a little bit. So pull out your Masters toys and listen to me and Mr. Beau Brown talking about what went down with Masters of the Universe. So I sent you via Facebook Messenger a link to an article that apparently came up today about the Masters of the Universe movie.
Whatever.
That I don't believe.
I mean, I believe that the people who think they're making the movie believe they're making the movie. They're going to be really disappointed when it all grinds to a fucking halt.
Okay, that's an interesting take.
Like it does every single time.
We'll start with this then, because okay. You've got a slightly different. Your take is equally negative, but completely different.
Oh yeah,
because okay. my take is that they're going to push it ahead. They're going to make it happen because they have decided that amidst all of the Star Wars Guardians of the Galaxy success, that this movie needs to happen and it's going to be a big cash cow for them, but that they still don't understand what Masters of the Universe is, and it's going to be a fucking disaster.
That's very likely.
But your take is...
I just don't think it's going to get made at all.
Right.
Yeah.
It is that just past history informing you of that decision?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard this. I mean, I've had people... I've listened to interviews from people who thought they were directing the movie.
Yeah.
And were, like, signed to direct the movie. And they've got all these ideas, and they have a direction, and, and then everyone gets all excited, and then it just sort of peters out, and you stop hearing about it, and they don't make a big deal out of it not happening again. They only make a big deal out of it when they think it is happening. And then, a year goes by, 2 years go by, and suddenly it's, oh no, we're totally doing it, and this time we mean it, and then they don't, and it's the same shit, and and a lot of the other fans are the same way. They're like, when I can buy a ticket, that's when I'll believe it.
Yeah,
I can see all the fucking concept art. I can see the teaser video. I can see a teaser trailer. I have literally seen a teaser trailer for the He-Man movie that was supposed to be being made. and that was 10 fucking years ago.
Gosh, it has been that long, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my!
I was like, I saw the teaser, and it was right after 300 had come out, and they were like, and the studios were like, oh, we'll make it like 300 because that made money,
right? And
there's badass fucking CG teaser trailer of He-Man with a big flowing red cape, like fucking 300, and badass fucking Rotons flying with the Evil Warriors and shit in the background, Battle Cat looking fucking badass as shit. That movie didn't fucking happen.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
Is it Sony that still has it?
Yeah, it's still Sony.
Yeah, so yeah, you're right. I mean,
here's the bare bones of the article is David S. I think you and I might have even already discussed the fact that David S. Goyer has been hired to direct and co-write it, which, say what you will about him, he's not my choice for this movie, but he does get movies made, and he's the root of my belief that it is going to happen, but it's just not going to be good, or it's not going to be the Masters of the Universe movie we think we want.
Yeah. There'll be no world building. It'll just be a bunch of fight scenes.
Yeah.
And it'll be gray and gritty and.
Well, I don't know about that because that's not necessarily his. Gritty, probably yes. It's probably going.
I can deal with gritty, but I want Eternia to be a colorful place. I want it. I want Eternia, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Eternia should look like fucking Avatar. Like the fauna, the flora, like it should be a fucking fully realized alien world. I mean, you've got real world building to do.
It can't look like a color-corrected Earth.
No, it can't, and it shouldn't look like fucking deserty, rocky shit. It needs to have purple fucking trees and
you can't
weird-ass shit. And,
you can't just go out to the Star Trek rock in California or wherever.
No, you can't film it in a fucking Doctor Who quarry. You can't fucking... it's not... Eternia has to be this lush, vibrant, I mean, and when I say lush and vibrant, I also mean it's got fucking deserts and fire, fire deserts and all sorts of shit. It can't... Eternia is an entire planet with different ecosystems. It doesn't look like one place,
Right.
It's got jungles. It's got forests. It's got swamps. It's got all sorts of shit, and it's not just a bunch of rocky, nondescript bullshit.
Well, here's the rest of this article that I'll read for the listeners, and because I want your reaction to what it says here. Up-and-coming studio screenwriter Lindsay Beer had been writing the most recent version of the script. Beer has been working on mostly bigger movies, which that phrasing right there concerns me a lot.
Yeah, that tells you a little bit about the budget.
Unless it's just a saying that she has been working on bigger movies, and it's not. It's just about what she's been working on, and not saying that they're bigger than Masters of the Universe. There's a little confusion with the syntax there, but
sure.
I'm assuming this is Chaos Walking, but they've spelled it Show Us Walking. Godzilla vs. Kong and Barbie, which means she has the Mattel connection. She's also part of the Star Trek writers' room for the Quentin Tarantino project.
Ugh, that's such a terrible idea.
It is potentially a terrible idea.
And I don't even fucking give a shit about Star Trek, and I know enough about Star Trek to say that that's a bad idea.
If it is a fact that Quentin Tarantino said it has to be rated R or I won't do it, then it's stupid. But
that goes against everything that Star Trek is about.
And I don't necessarily believe that report because I've never seen it from a source that can be linked directly. It's always been a report from a report, because you know how the internet is. Some idiot makes something up and then people start referencing it as as reported by geeknews.com.
Right.
And then the final part is, a location hasn't been named, but we're hearing Europe is a strong possibility. So this is all just bullshit as far as the location, because you're not hearing anything. You're making things up.
Right.
So there's not really any news here other than the only fact in the article is that Lindsay Beer is working on the script, which means that this thing is still underway. And I will say this. Her resume of, I don't know what Chaos Walking is, but Godzilla vs. Kong and Barbie, that actually, to me, sounds right.
Yeah.
Sure. That's...
Yeah. She can hopefully understand. I mean, she's talking these are big franchises.
Yes. With
loads of history. So, it means that she hopefully can treat something that's that already has an existing fan base, that has tons of source material to pull from,
right?
Hopefully with respect, but also find a way to make it exciting for general audiences.
And if it had said her projects include My Left Foot and Rudy, I'd be like,
right,
we're in bad
shape. Toy properties and action,
right?
Adventure, so big monsters, those are important. I mean, big toy franchise and big fucking monsters. Well, we're part of the way there.
Right. So that part has me a little hopeful. We'll see. But Sony has actually given the movie a release date, which I did not know. Which doesn't.
I've heard that before.
Right. Exactly.
But release dates before.
It's December 18th, 2019.
Well,
so we will see. We will, of course, keep the listeners posted. But yeah, I just thought that was an interesting little tidbit since it came out today and we're recording today.
Yeah, no, that's very timely.
Now, you and I have discussed before what we would expect out of a Masters of the Universe movie. And we have discussed at length the history of Masters of the Universe, pardon me. Mm-hmm. But we've never done it all together. I think it's all been bits and pieces of our various podcasts over the years. So what I wanted to do today was for you and I just to sit down and have a big-ass Masters of the Universe jam with how we got into it, what we think of it, which characters we like the most, what we think of the various toy lines, just kind of however the conversation goes.
Sure.
Just all Masters of the Universe. And we can, if you want to, we can discuss, well, I think we should. We should probably actually, now that we've talked about this potential movie that maybe isn't going to happen, let's actually briefly talk about what Super 7 has been doing lately, because I'm sure you've got some thoughts on how they're handling
Absolutely.
things.
Yeah. I mean, I've got my toys out from 2017, and
excellent. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I can totally do that. So it was a dry year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this year was probably the driest year for Masters of the Universe merchandise, figure-wise. Because we've actually gotten some really fun. 2017, we got a lot of fun other stuff.
Yeah. The toy line. In a way, well, not even in a way. The toy line returned to stores.
That's true.
With the little
the blind bags and basically with blind bags.
What is the company called? I can't remember right now. The blind box figures, but also the little Mega Bloks figures.
Yeah, I don't have, which I still don't have. I still don't have Mega Bloks ones. I want them. I just want to have them, and I want Teela and Beastman when they come out. And I just, they're just another fun little thing. And
if they had opened with the Grayskull construction set that's been
teased, what it needs. That's what it needs.
That would have gotten me. But seeing just the little minifigures, I'm like, you know what? I've got enough figures of He-Man and Skeletor. I don't need little teeny ones.
Yeah, but what Mega Construx is doing is they're trying to be Funko. They're license grabbing. And and when you saw their booth at San Diego, it was literally a wall of those figures that said, "Hey, look at us. We're just like Funko. We've got all of your favorite licenses are now together in the same cohesive."
You're so right. I didn't
totally
even,
what they're doing.
I totally didn't even put that on it, just because I think for so many years I've been watching Lego with how they handle licenses. But you're right. Mega Bloks is taking a different approach, as in, look at all these licenses together.
Yeah,
you're
in the
totally
same
right.
Scale.
Yeah,
in the same aesthetic.
Right.
Take all these characters that you love from all these different things, and let's put them all together in one aesthetic, so that you can have your Ripley fight He-Man, kind of stuff, attitude, which is great, and I love that. I mean, because that's what I did as kids. You brought all the figures together. You played with your Alien figures and your G.I. Joes, and that's what you did. We weren't. When I would play with my best friend, it was you had a town, and the town was full of your toys, and you dumped all the toys in the middle of the floor, and each of you took turns picking, just like dodgeball or whatever. You took turns picking a character, then you went off into your corner, you built your town or your base or whatever, and then you came back afterwards, and and then you did your play. Whether that was a battle, whether that was like exploring, you're in charge of these characters, I'm in charge of these characters, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And I love that you can now have a huge variety of licenses, all sharing the same aesthetic, like they look like they all exist in the same world. I think it's great. It's great for play.
Yeah, and you're right. That's what's behind offering the little minifigures as just single carded figures. Right. Is absolutely that Funko mentality of, look at this big display of lots of different cool things. And you know what? Honestly, the reason they probably didn't lead with something like a Castle Grayskull set is they're testing the waters, because the first wave was Masters of the Universe, Halo, Star Trek The Next Generation. I think there was some Alien there was Alien stuff. They're probably seeing how each one does before they leap ahead with the bigger sets.
Yeah, which is a shame that I haven't bought my He-Man ones to support that idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Because yeah, you're right. That is how we'll get a castle.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that all said, so we got the Mega Constructs, we got a couple of other Funkos. I'm looking at my Trapjaw, who's beautiful right now. I'm looking at my Man at Arms, who I love. We got a bunch of Dorbs guys. Well, maybe the Dorbs came out 2016. Did they? Did we talk about Battlecat?
Skeletor and Panther came out in 2017. I know that because they were on my list of if I see it in person, I'll get it.
Yeah. I should get that Panther. I love that Battlecat.
They're adorable. It's stupid.
So fucking cute.
I want to slap somebody. They're so cute.
I don't care about honestly, I don't really give a shit about the figures. And to be specifically, I don't like the way Skeletor looks. There's just something about him that really turns me off visually.
Oh,
but
okay.
Battlecat, there's something about that Battlecat that just like crawls up inside my heart and wants to curl up and purr. Like, I love it. I just love it. I love it. It's the cutest fucking thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I got the little heroic. What is it? Something heroes or what are the little blind bad guys called?
Yeah, I can't remember what loyal subjects. Loyal subjects.
I got a couple of those, and I got enough of them to where I got sort of every character, and then I was done because I'm not into buying a bunch of fucking shit.
I'm the same way.
I bought a couple on eBay. I've got my list of good guys. I've got my bad guys, but I'm not chasing down some fucking gold ass He-Man or,
I lucked out on those. Did I ever give you the ones that I picked up that I was going to give you? I don't remember.
No, I don't think so.
Or did I might have just ended up opening them. Well, however I ended up buying them, I lucked out and got Trapjaw in the first batch I got, which is the only one that I really, really wanted because I've got that Trapjaw, I've got several of the Mattel Trapjaws, and then I went ahead and got the Funko Trapjaw when they had a sale, the Reaction Trapjaw, which is the only one of those that I bought. And then just ended up with Skeletor and Evil Lyn. So I was like, you know what, I'm happy. Those are kind of my... Like, if they're three characters, I'm going to say I'd like to have those, then that's them, and I'm good. But they're great little figures, man. I mean,
yeah, they're fun, and the kids can play with them. I mean, I think their limbs come off a little too easy for kid play.
Yeah.
But other than that, they're designed well. I like the look of them. If I
didn't have a huge collection of Masters of the Universe figures, I'd be happy, just with all of these on the shelf.
Sure.
But I do, so
So there you go. We did get a bunch of really cool T-shirts this year.
I know. Cool, expensive T-shirts.
Yeah, for it being my one fandom.
Right.
To represent T-shirt wise, I'm okay spending some. I didn't like all of them. But I got the Castle Grayskull, the green Castle Grayskull shirt, the Slime Pit shirt, which is beautiful. I almost wore it to set today, but I decided to wait until tomorrow for it. And then the Hordak shirt, the Hordak face shirt. I didn't really care for the Stridor shirt. And then there was, I think the face on the toy Snake Mountain that had the moving mouth. I didn't get that. I didn't get that one. But I did get those three, and I'm very pleased with all three purchases. I like them, and I wear them all the time.
Yeah, for me actually part of looking at a T-shirt for me and saying that's a little pricey is knowing that if I'm ordering it online, there is a chance that I'm not going to like the way that it fits. Like being a bigger guy.
Sure.
I need my T-shirts to be cut a very specific way. So if I could walk into a store and stick my arms in it, then it would be a sale.
Yeah.
But to pay that price plus shipping, it's a risk, and for me, that's just not.
I've been burned on it. I don't actually like the material on the Castle Grayskull shirt.
Oh no.
And then I ordered the 8-bit shirt of Skeletor, Merman, and Beastman, and I ended up with a medium instead of a large for some reason, and I can't wear it. But you know, other than that, I like all the designs. There's also the Skeletor Madball shirt. I forgot about that one.
Oh yes, that was the one that I put in my cart like 6 times, and ended up not ever getting.
There was some weird bullshit, I think. Yeah, there was some bad Super 7 bullshit order-wise where the only option for shipping was 2-day shipping, and it was like super expensive. And then my shit didn't show up for like a month. Well, and I was like, look, I don't care if my shit takes a month to get here. I'm not like chomping at the bit to get this. I'm fine waiting. But if I'm going to wait, you don't charge me 2-day shipping. Let me pick the cheap, it takes forever to get here because I don't really care. It's not like I'm like, well, I have to have my shirt in time to go to the thing. Like, I don't,
Well, in this day and age, where you have things like Amazon Prime's, free 2-day shipping, or, without even signing up and paying an expensive yearly fee, Big Bad Toy Store now has a $4 flat rate shipping. Yeah. Man, you can't fuck up on shipping, and Super 7 to me is doing that because I ordered a ton of stuff.
Over $30 in shipping?
It's insane.
That's
worse than Digital River.
Yeah, and when I tried to get in touch with customer service about it, they were completely non-responsive.
That's not
completely useless. Which is like, come on, guys, seriously. I know you're a smaller company, but
well, they're just looking at the precedent that was set by Matty Collector and like, look, these people will deal with every bit of shit we throw at them, so just fuck it.
Right. So what we did get this year was the Ultimates, which were super late, but people did finally get them. Now, I didn't order any of them personally because I already have all those figures.
Yes.
And other than getting the orange-colored Ram Man, which is how he was originally depicted on the 8-back card back from the original vintage line, which I was like, do I really want another Ram Man just because he's orange? Not really. Right. So I wasn't on board with that. And then the thing that would have been, which many people complained about, was that you can't call it Ultimate Faker and not include the battle armor.
Well, I would go so far as to say He-Man and Skeletor as well.
Well, but they already came with so much other stuff that I didn't feel like, especially with Skeletor coming with the Keldor head and the cape and the Keldor cape, like I felt like Skeletor they did a good job with what you would expect out of an Ultimate Skeletor. But specifically because the Toys R Us Faker was so hard to get and rare, that to throw the fans a bone and say, we know a lot of you never got this, and the only reason I have it is because of you. So that's what would have, if I hadn't gotten it from you, that's what would have made me get that Faker.
Right.
For somebody who is a collector, who has all the Classics line. But on the other hand, it's not really for Classics collectors. It's for people who just want to buy in and get the big guns, who maybe never had a chance to get a Tila, and really, for most people, Tila being one of the hardest figures to get, and then every other version of Tila being fucking terrible that they did after the original, this was a really great opportunity for people to get that, to get a good Tila.
Well, and I will say this, as far as the lateness of this and apparently of the forthcoming lines as well, I haven't gone in on any of this because I've made my peace with I'm done with this. Even though there are figures I still want, I'm not signing up for 3 figures I don't want to get 1 figure I do want.
Yeah.
I was really disappointed that they set it up that way. If they're making them to order, I don't understand why you've got to buy all 4. But anyway, that's how they're doing it. Whatever. But as far as things being late, you know what? Make them late. I would rather them be late and perfect than...
Well, therein lies the rub, because they were super late and not perfect.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. Oh, what happened? I didn't know that.
Not on the Ultimates. I think that people were relatively happy with the Ultimates. It was the PowerCon exclusives.
Oh, I have not heard this story. What happened?
I think we talked about. Actually, I think we did already talk about this. But maybe just not on the podcast, just personally.
Oh, okay.
So basically, what happened is that the PowerCon exclusives, which were incredibly expensive to get,
yes,
because you had to buy a PowerCon pass, which is like you have to buy a badge to PowerCon, even though you're not going, to even have the privilege of buying the figures. And funny story, I just got my PowerCon pass in the mail like 2 weeks ago, in spite of having had the figures for several months now. I was like, something came in the mail, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, oh, that badge for that convention I didn't fucking go to that I was forced to buy. Okay, great.
Wow.
What the fuck am I, Anyway, I mean, it's got King Grayskull on it. It looks cool, whatever. But anyway, so the PowerCon exclusives were a 3-pack of these concept figures that were characters that were created for the very tail end of the vintage line that never saw production.
One of which was Naked Stratos, which I really wanted.
No, that was the mini comic set.
Oh, which ones?
So there were 2 sets. There was the mini comics set, which was mini comics Prince Adam, mini comics Trapjaw. I'm surprised you didn't want that mini comics Trapjaw since you're the Trapjaw collector.
Oh, I did. I actually wanted. What was it? It was mini comics.
It's mini comics Trapjaw, which is like green Trapjaw.
I was just the pricing. It was just the pricing on that.
Oh yeah, the pricing was nuts. And if it wasn't the only thing I collected and I wasn't all in, I would have said no.
Yeah.
It was, you're talking $300. I mean, it was astronomical once shipping, was factored in, dude. It was irresponsible. Like, it was irresponsible spending for what you get. So it was mini comics Stratos, who was sort of like nude colored, but still hairy.
And let's be clear. Nude Caucasian colored.
Nude Caucasian colored, that's fair, yes. So nude Caucasian colored, but with a nice tan.
Oh, yeah.
He could be Latino Stratos. I mean, he's got a sort of like, he's not white. But a nude Stratos who came with a cool sort of neck thing, a sort of different neck, sort of feathered neck collar, and then also a belt. He's good. His wings are of a very flexible plastic that is very loosey-goosey. But other than that, he's fine. And I dig the other things. And he also came with a new Staff of Avion, which was good because my old one's broken and very difficult to repair, which is why I haven't repaired it. But he's good. Then you've got Mini Comics Prince Adam, who's like back when Prince Adam was more rough and tumble, going to the tavern, getting drunk, banging wenches, before he became pink-vested Filmation Prince Adam.
Right. This looks like a party Adam.
Yeah, this Adam is down to party.
Yeah.
He's like calling Beau, calling Geldor, like, let's fucking do this shit. I'm down. Let's go to the tavern. Let's pick up some wenches. Let's do this. No, he's totally down to go. He's totally ready to throw down.
He is DTF.
Yes. With Geldor, he's rolling too deep with Geldor and Beau going to the club. And maybe Batros. Batros is probably like, hey guys, can I come into like Batros? We're not going to that club.
Yeah.
That's not the club we're going to. And then you've got Green Mini Comics Trapjaw, from where he was like this interdimensional bounty hunter, original Mini Comics origin Trapjaw, and he's cool looking. They didn't get, it's all the same. It's all the basic same stuff. He's got a new sculpt on the head, no articulated jaw this time, and he's got a new pantlet that has sort of purple and black stripes. But other than that, he's basically the same. And then you've got the concept figures. So, which is Lord Grasp, who is a new Snake Man character.
Oh yeah, I liked that guy.
Who's like he has a Gila monster coloring. That's sort of like where his color scheme comes from. But it's weird, because he's got Squeeze's face, so he's got the sort of alligator Squeeze face. He's got a claw. He's got Clawful's claw.
Right.
Which is just a totally weird-ass fucking choice for a Snake Man.
Well, I still feel weird about that Camo Con repaint that had the clawful claws.
That had the claws. Well, that came from somewhere.
Right,
that was
right.
Like, and this guy comes from somewhere too. And basically what those last line of figures were doing was they were saying, okay, we're not going to do any new parts. We're just going to bang out a couple of more that are completely reuse. And let's just really get bonkers with the reuse.
Which is kind of cool. Like, I support that, but not for a premium price.
Well, like the designs were for the vintage line. These were designed for the vintage line that never saw production.
Oh, okay, I got you. This was at the end with all the who's the wizard guy that was supposed to happen.
No, they weren't going to be. I don't think they were going to be Powers of Grayskull figures they were just concept characters that were designed and then just never saw the light of day.
Okay,
but the main focus of the three characters was no new parts, completely reuse.
Okay, cool.
So they were reused vintage parts. And so now what they've done is they've said, okay, well let's create those characters in the classic style, and do them that way. They're interesting characters. You've got Lord Grasp, who's a Snake Man, and he has a very strange origin story where he's not actually a Snake Man. If on the back of the box, it's like he's actually almost like the Thing type alien.
What?
Yeah, he's like the Thing type alien who scanned all of these other Masters of the Universe characters when it landed on Eternia and copied them.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
That's why he has the claw, and that's why he has, and then he ended up joining up with the Snake Man and ended up being sort of like a general and like he's got a very weird backstory. I almost said bonkers again because for some reason 2018 is the year of bonkers for me. I don't know what it is, but I have used the word bonkers more in 2018 than I used in my entire life put together. I don't know. It's my new word. Everything's bonkers.
I'm a big fan of bonkers because the first time Dana, Miss Ladyflex, walked into the Phantom Zone here, she stopped in the entryway and said, "This is fucking bonkers."
Well, yeah.
Which is the greatest. To me, that was it's bigger on the inside.
Right.
Was there. Nobody's ever going to say anything better about this space that I live in than
Fair enough.
So go for bonkers, man.
I'm 2018, year of the bonkers. Then there's what is this dude's name? It's let me go get my oh no, I'm wrong. I'm wrong about Lord Grasp. It's actually the purple guy that did that.
So Lord Grasp is a legit Snake Man.
Well, let me go get the box because
go get the box.
I only read it the one time. I'll be right back.
Go back to Snake Mountain. Not yet, man. Not until I castle, praise God. Kento versus man.
I'm back, and we are going to, after a mutual pause that was longer than it should have been, thanks to Skype, we're going to unravel the mystery of Lord Grasp.
Lord Grasp, okay. When you're ready.
Oh, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So Lord Grasp, according to this beautiful, and I got to say, the card art, the back of the boxes is beautiful. I absolutely, completely love the art they did on the back of these boxes.
Okay.
And in fact, when I ordered them, I got an email from PowerCon saying, "Hey, we're sorry that we're shipping these out late," because they were late. And we're polling everybody, and we want to know if you're a in the box collector or loose collector. because we have some boxes that are damaged. The figures are fine. The figures are fine. And if you are planning on taking them out of the box, then if you wouldn't mind some dinged up boxes, we would love to, to give you those, and so that we can give the pristine boxes to the other fans. And so I wrote back and I said, well, actually, I like to keep the card. I cut the card backs off and save them. It's just something that I did when I was a kid. I kept all the, like, my Ninja Turtle figures. I just kept the card backs, and my He-Man. I like the bios.
Yeah.
There was just something that I did, and for some reason I started doing it with the classics figures. I guess for the bios, and I just kept doing it. And so I said, as long as the backs of the card, the back of the box is in decent shape, if other parts of it are damaged, it's not a really big. I'm
if
fine.
It's the blister or the bubble or whatever.
Yeah, or the box that the actual box comes in. Like if that's dinged up, I don't care.
Oh
that's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
And they wrote back and they were like, you could tell they were like, you're a real fan. Like you open them, but you cut out the back of the box and keep it. Like they appreciated it.
Yeah, they hadn't they totally understood where you were coming from.
Yeah, and that was kind of like cool. Yeah. All right. And they were like, you should come to PowerCon. And I think it may have been, oh God, his name is, I'm just blanked on his name.
Reese?
No, the guy who runs He-Man.org and PowerCon.
Oh, okay.
The guy, like, he's,
I can't remember his name. He was on, have you watched The Toys That Made Us at all yet?
No, I'm sure he's on it, because he's the guy.
He is.
Yeah, and he's he's a super nice guy who's given his life to this toy,
right?
And I think the email was actually from him. He was like, "You should come to PowerCon," and I'm like, "Yeah, well, I go to DragonCon every year, and PowerCon's always right after DragonCon, and I just can't do both."
Maybe move PowerCon to July.
Yeah, I can't afford to fly out to freaking California right after I do like my big other convention I do every year. And he was like, "Well, we're not moving it." So,
not for
he
you,
didn't say
buddy.
that. He was like, "You should try to come." He was like, the dates are this." He just said, "The dates are this year. We'd love to have you."
Okay.
But anyway, so that all being said, the card art is beautiful. And then there's actually a little Easter egg on the back of the what do they call it? I guess they don't. It doesn't have like the set doesn't have a name, but so it's Terror, Lord Grasp, and Plasmar in this box, and they're all fighting in these like cool underground like crystal cavern kind of thing. It's totally awesome looking. And then in the background, there's this ninja character whose name let's see, Quick Flick. Yes, so there's a
Quick Flick.
Quick Flick, yeah. Who is basically he's a repaint once again, like the other characters. But he's more of a straight up repaint of Ninjor.
Oh, nice.
But he's a good ninja, so he's like a white ninja. So he's like Storm Shadow to Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
Snake Eyes
I'm so proud of your G.I. Joe reference.
I know a little bit. I mixed them up, but then I remembered. So anyway, so in the background you see Quick Flick, which is a terrible name for a ninja, but anyway.
Well, considering there was a G.I. Joe named Quick Kick,
okay, sure.
I'll take it. We'll let it go.
Yeah. So anyway, so he's in the background, and he's sort of in like whites and blues, and he looks badass. I would totally I'd be totally happy with a cool white and blue Ninjor good guy.
Right.
I'm totally down. Anyway, so he's like an Easter egg in the background. I feel very confident that we will see a Quick Flick.
Yeah.
Figure. I mean, there's no other reason that he would be on the stuff. Anyway, so Lord Grasp. He's one of the elite generals of the Unnamed One. He used his vile cunning to orchestrate he helped the Unnamed One escape from the Nameless Dimension. Made an alliance with Horde Prime, blah, 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 blah. He's got his Captor Claw. Lurk in the shadows. Da, da, da. He's a master of strategy. Oh no, maybe it's not Quick Flick.
Oh my gosh, this is just getting deeper and deeper.
Because there's another guy named Slamurai.
Whoa, that is the greatest name I've ever heard in my life.
Pretty good. So
Did you say Slamurai?
Slamurai. So
Holy shit.
I don't know if the White Ninja is Slamurai or Quick Flick now. Now I don't know.
I don't care. I want both of them, but not for $50 a piece.
Unleashed a devastating roar that brought him fascinating, prevented Quick Flick from failing with an arrow, which makes me think that it's him because he's literally in the picture. He's literally shooting an arrow at Terror. But then what does Slamurai look like?
I don't know. Maybe he's a good Fisto.
We demand answers.
Yeah, we need to know.
A good Fisto?
I need to know who Slamurai is.
Fisto is the good Fisto.
Because no.
You mean a good Jitsu?
Jitsu, a good Jitsu.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Okay.
I'm gonna Google Slamurai right now, and of course Google is gonna say, "Did you mean
Samurai?"
No, I didn't. The only thing under Slamurai is the Black Slamurai, The World Ends With You. And I don't know what that is, but it's not Masters of the Universe related.
No. Okay, so actually these characters are, or at least, maybe they are.
Well, anyway, let's talk about the figures.
No, like maybe they are Powers of Grayskull because it says Prince Dare.
I want to know about the figures, though. I want to know how these things ended up not incredible.
So anyway, so it's Lord Grass Plasmar, who is basically and this is cool because he's the Latino. He's our Latino Masters of the Universe figure.
Okay.
So he has got Fisto's head. Let's see. He has the laser powers of Sir Laserlot, but he uses them to make different weapons, and so he's got like a horde crossbow, laser horde crossbow, which makes 0 sense. And he also has one of his arms, or both of his arms are Rio Blast's arms. And so he has like laser attachments that go into the wrists like Rio Blast.
Oh, nice.
Which is kind of cool. But then it gets weirder because he has General Ratlor's legs.
Huh?
Because he hunts the Snake Men exclusively and literally wears Snake Man pants. He wears Snake Man pants, which is kind of amazing.
Yeah,
it's a weird design choice, but then you're like, no, man, he fucking made pants out of those assholes. Like,
yeah, no, I'm okay with it. It's like Crocodile Dundee wearing his crocodile skin boots or whatever.
Well, but these are pants. It's one thing to wear like snakeskin boots. Snakeskin pants is an interesting choice.
I'm looking at a picture of both of these sets right now.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, like, I would love to have all 6 of those figures. I mean, they're all
great looking figures. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing visually wrong with them. And then you've got Terror, and Terror is the thing. Like, he is.
Okay, he's the one that absorbed.
Yeah, exiled from Melodian, a dimension of sound. Okay, this is bonkers. Hey, there it is. A dimension of sound inhabited by formless beings. It was cryosonically frozen. I don't think I've ever heard the term cryosonic before.
I love it.
That's beautiful. Cryosonic.
It's almost as good as Slamurai.
There's a lot of good stuff in this set. I mean, yeah, we didn't get a lot of figures, but there's a lot of good creativity going on here. Cryosonically, which is our new favorite thing, yes. Cryosonically frozen and sent hurtling through interdimensional space, his craft crashed in Eternia's ice mountains, where Terror remained inert for millennia. Freed during a skirmish between the evil horde, the evil warriors, and the Snake Men, Terror systematically. Well, I love that about He-Man, that the bad guys fight each other. That there's 3 bad guy factions,
yes,
and they all fucking hate each other. And anyway, I love that. Assimilated the physical characteristics of several warriors, taking on a macabre combination of their features. All 3 factions agreed to hunt down the abomination, but when they cornered him, he unleashed a devastating roar that brought them all to their knees. Fascinated, King Hiss prevented Quick Flick from felling Terror with an arrow, allowing him to escape. Later, Lord Grass sought Terror in the Ice Valley of Death, great name for a place, and remembering Hiss's kindness, the alien willingly joined the ever-growing forces of the Snake Men and became their secret weapon in the battle until the brave trio of Plasmar, Slamurai, and Strobo, interesting way to bring Strobo back, discovered that terror could not withstand prolonged exposure to light. So he's some weird sound-based alien who fabricates a physical body, kind of like a transformer, honestly.
Sure.
Where he sort of like scanned and then took on their traits. So he's got a weird mix of General Rattler's body, or Rattler's body, so he's got the snake tail. He's got Mosquitor's boots, those big clunky Mosquitor boots. Snake Man belt, Trapjaw arm.
Yes.
So he's kind of in your Trapjaw collection area.
Well, Trapjaw arm with, I'm looking at the in the box figure. What is at the end of the Trapjaw arm?
He comes with the basic Trapjaw stuff. It's all just the
But
same.
it's like a purple and red something.
In the box? I don't know about that.
It's at the end of his. It's at the end of his arm. There's some kind of purple and red something or other. It's really weird. But anyway, we can figure out that mystery.
But then he has the Rattler extend neck.
Oh, nice.
And
that's what this is. It's just it's on top of the arm in the package. That's what it is. Okay.
He's got the Rattler extend neck and then Whiplash's head, a purple Whiplash head.
Yeah.
And here's where we come to the problems with the figures.
Well, wait, before we start talking about the problems, well, you know what? Talk about the problems, and then we can end on a good note with the thing I'm excited about. So talk about the problems.
Well, that's why I got to him last.
Okay.
Because he is the biggest example of the problem. So the deal is that when Super 7 started doing the new figures, they switched Chinese factories. This was the first batch of figures to come out of the new factory. The plastic on the bodies of the figures is very, very, very hard. So I have not actually been able to get the General Rattler neck extension, and I was able to pull his head off, but I have not been able to get his neck extension and his head back on the body.
Oh,
and I admittedly I haven't done the hair dryer, I haven't done the boiling water, but you literally can't do it. Just as they come. The plastic is very, very, very stiff, and that is part of what's caused the delays for the other figures after that, because they know they fucked up, and they're like, we're going to fix it, we've got to fix the plastic, we're going to fix it, and that is what's held up a lot of the figures that have come after that.
Interesting. Okay, and I'm good with that. And there are companies now. Hasbro is one of them. They've actually moved production on the Star Wars line out of China and into Vietnam, and Vietnam is producing some really good-looking stuff. So I'm interested to see if other companies follow suit with that.
Now, I will say that I'm disappointed that Lord Grasp came with another goddamn Snake Man staff.
Oh, you totally stole my thunder, because I was going to go off on that like it was the greatest thing in the world. We hate those. We hate them so much.
Last fucking thing the world needs is more of these pieces of shit that no one ever uses, and they suck.
I have a drawer with, 6 of them just in it.
They're so big. They're so big.
I don't think I even have one on my shelf displayed.
No, absolutely not. Because the only one who deserves to have one is King Hiss, but King Hiss has the Ring of Serpos, which is way cooler looking in his hand.
Yeah, he's got other cool shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So, although he still doesn't have, we get another goddamn Snake Man staff, and we still don't have the Amulet of Serpos, and we still don't have Snake Armor He-Man's Snake Shield.
Those things cost money, Beau Brown.
But that's we don't want. Anyway,
I know.
So, all said and done, all the characters are really cool. They're neat. The design on them is cool. Everything about them is great. Just the plastic is a problem. But other than that, and that seems to be being remedied. But other than that, other than the price. The price was way too high.
I gotta say, I'm looking at the Stratos here, and it looks like the paint on him is amazing. Like his body hair actually has a coat on it. Or is that maybe just good photography?
It's the light. Yeah, I think it's the
lighting. Okay, well, never mind. Forget it.
I don't think there's another.
Damn it, nude Stratos! I wanted hair color from you.
Actually, I say that, and I think you are right. I'm looking at his back.
And the back hair is the key, my friend.
Wiser words have never been said. No, I think you're right. I think there is a really nice wash on there. You're right, and it's so good that I thought it's subtle, but it is there. There is a little wash on there.
Man, I'm gonna have to get my hands on one of those.
The only thing I don't like about it, though, is that he has the Beastman hands, and because he has the furry body, and the Beastman hands have this weird like knuckle bracer on the closed hand. That's another big problem with all of them is their hands are the hard plastic. And you cannot get the accessories in and out of their hands. That was the other one. It wasn't terrible. Just the head. It was that there's no play in the plastic in their hands to do the accessories.
And I'm looking at right now at Trapjaw and Adam, and the holes in their hands look very hole-ish. Like they look very just like these circular, and again, this may just be the photography that I'm looking at right now. They don't look very artful.
Well, I mean, if you're not looking at them like if you're not looking down the fist,
right?
But I can't get Prince Adam's sword into his hand.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh well.
And I don't want to even risk it.
Right, right.
But so that's that. So that's basically all we got.
Oh, that was it. None of the other. Because I don't know where we are on the other waves or anything.
Where we are with the others is we've got Fangor, Lodar, Quake, and Classics Hawk that have been available for pre-order. I've pre-ordered mine, and who the fuck knows when they're coming.
Excuse me, but to Super 7's credit, people protested like, hey, we really don't want to order the next wave when we don't even have this wave yet, and I think they extended the pre-order.
They did. Yeah. They did. And that's good business.
I feel like that almost to me says, because the whole shipping thing is a fiasco, but I feel like there's probably something behind that they just can't do anything about. Because when they're doing things like that, like saying, look, we get what your deal is with this, we're going to do this to make it better. Like, I think they're doing the best they can.
They are. And I think that, but especially since Hawk comes with an alternative head, Fangor comes with an alternative head, if you can't change their fucking heads out.
Yeah.
Which is a huge part of the Classics line. I mean, one of the selling points of the Classics line is the interchangeability.
Until they said we're not doing extra heads anymore.
Well, they did that bajillion years ago. Yeah. I mean, and that wasn't even Super 7.
No, that was Mattel.
Yeah, but I'm very excited to have that whole wave. I think it's a really good, and we already talked about this on last year's because I think that's how late things are. Is we knew about these figures when we had this conversation last year, and we still don't have them. So Hawk comes with two heads. Fangor comes with two heads. He looks amazing. Lodar does not, but he still looks great, and Quake looks great. Then you've got the next wave of Filmation figures, and you've got Filmation Triclops, Filmation Man-at-Arms, Filmation Tila, and Filmation Hordak, all on pre-order, and I've pre-ordered those, and who knows when they're going to show. But that's it. I mean, literally, I got 6 figures that I paid a phenomenally premium price for because they were exclusives, and that's what I've got this year. So there you go. That's 2017. Classics. Woo!
But I will say this. I think once Super 7 gets all of these logistics figured out, I think once they have a good factory, I think they're still in the growing stages, even though this franchise moved to them a little over a year ago. Is that right? I think that's right.
More than a year. 2 years.
Has it been 2 full years?
I think so.
But they're still in, considering the development cycle of a toy line, they're still in the growing pain stage. And I feel like this is my guess, and this may be as good as my guess about the Masters of the Universe movie, but my guess is Super 7 is going to have something really strong for Toy Fair this year, which is just a few weeks away.
Oh, okay.
And going forward from there, I think we're going to see more, maybe not more out of them, because I know they're still going to kind of limit how much they're producing of the Masters line, but I think it's going to be more regular. I feel like they're going to have a big, strong presentation this year at Toy Fair. And when I say big, strong presentation, that could just mean all the shit's ready, we're getting ready to ship it. But I think they're going to have a big statement to make this year, because honestly, if they don't, I think this line's probably going to die.
I don't think it's going to die. I mean, I feel like that they still have a lot of ground to cover.
Well, they do. They for sure do. But you've already lost. Because I consider myself a fan of Masters of the Universe. Obviously, not as hardcore as you are, but I'm a fan. They've lost me. They've lost people like me.
Yeah, but Mattel lost you. Super 7 didn't, right?
No, Super 7 did.
Okay.
Because once Mattel was done, I was ready for a fresh start. I was ready to keep going if the line met what I wanted from the line. And when I went and looked, the prices plus the shipping plus the having to order, so many of such things, they didn't offer me what I wanted in order to keep me invested in the line.
Right.
And which, it's not fair to Super 7 because Maddie was asking so much more of me. They wanted me to commit to a whole year of shit I didn't know about.
Right.
But,
at least you know what you're buying.
Yes.
This time around, yeah.
But the problem was my burnout with Maddie Collector couldn't help but be carried over to what Super 7 was offering.
Right.
And for them to keep me, they had to check my picky-ass toy collector boxes, and they didn't get them all. And that's, that's me, that's not them, but anybody that feels the way that I do, they've already lost them. Now they've got you and
they've got me, the me's,
hardcore. You're right. They've got the Beau Browns, which is believe me, is fine company. But I don't, there's only one Beau Brown.
They've lost the toy collectors.
Yes,
and what they have left is the diehard He-Man fans. That's on the very short list, if not the only thing they collect.
What they've got left are the guys that are going to buy any Masters of the Universe stuff that they can.
Not any. I mean, I didn't buy all the shirts.
What? I didn't buy all the shirts.
But listen, this is how behind they are, though. There are 8 other figures that are announced that we don't even have the figures they announced before those figures.
Oh, wow.
Because there's a whole other Filmation wave of Sorceress, Merman, mini
shit,
faces.
That's right.
No shit. And a whole other Classics wave of Dial-A-Mug, Karg, Rap Trap / Horde Mummy, and Granita.
Wow.
That's how behind it is. They are literally a whole year. We talked about these figures on the Wrap-Up Masters of the Universe podcast last year.
Yeah, you're right. Wow.
Now, all those figures look great.
Yeah, they do. Well,
I can't wait to get them in 2019.
Much like the Madball Skeletor shirt, I had those figures in a cart a couple of times. As a matter of fact,
I almost got them for you. And then my cart fucked up over and over and over again.
Yes, that's what finally made me say, fuck it, is I put them in a cart, I was ready to buy them, and they had whatever the difficulty was, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going through all this again.
It was a weird pre-order page. They had made this other weird pre-order page, and you couldn't actually get them.
That's exactly right.
It was, bonkers, I say, bonkers.
It is bonkers. All right, so those are the toys that we got last year.
That's the toys.
And even though I felt like there wasn't enough to fill up an episode, we did. But you know what, Beau Brown? We're going to keep going.
Let's keep going.
We're going to keep going. We're going to keep talking about just general Masters of the Universe stuff, anything that comes to mind. But you're going to have to wait a few weeks to hear that conversation. That went on for like 2 more hours, which is why I didn't want to unleash it all upon you in one huge burst of dorky, increasingly inebriated Masters of the Universe madness. I'm telling you guys, this next episode is great. I love it. And like I said, we go pretty far afield, but we bring it on, we bring it in for a landing at the end. Please mark January 25th, February 2nd, February 3rd on your calendars. I want to see as many people as can make it at the Needless Things Podcast 200th episode extravaganza. Go to Facebook, RSVP, share the event. Please share the event all over the place. Tweet it, Instagram it, do whatever you can. I want to pack that place out. I want this to be a huge, memorable event that people have warm, fuzzy feelings about for years to come, because I know I'm going to. And I want to inspire warm, fuzzy feelings in everyone. And there's no better way to spread needless cheer than coming out to an event that's going to be loud enough for all to hear. Pardon me for attempting to lift that quote from Elf and fail miserably. I think that's the second time I've done that in the last month or so. But anyway, and then Days of the Dead, Atlanta, 2018. Needless Things is there. Dirty Con Game Show is there. It's going to be a big, great, crazy, goofy time. And it's just a good horror convention. The guest lineup this year is incredible. And we'll be talking about that in just a couple of weeks with the director of the Blue Track, Mr. Nathan Hamilton, will be returning to the show. In the meantime, I love you guys.
Thank you for listening to the Needless Things Podcast. You're the best. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Downcast, or in the ears of a Trader Vic's employee. Love you. Mean it. Uh-huh.